Good morning, hi, I'm Ceri Wynter. Welcome to House of Light here in South Spain. I'm sitting in the glorious sunshine, listening to the bird song, enjoying the gardens here at House of Light. Today's class, the theme is connection. So I feel very blessed to be able to walk out of my back door and connect with this beautiful nature. We are so lucky to be here in South Spain, enjoying the sunshine. I hope everybody's enjoying a little bit of sun wherever you are. We're just waiting a couple of moments to see if other people join. So this concept of connection, it permeates the practice of yoga and the effects of the practice on many levels. So the ultimate aim is to connect the breath and the body and the mind and the spirit all together. This can often feel a little bit overwhelming, so let's start with something much more simple. We'll just start by connecting your awareness to your breath. So slowing down the pace of the breath, starting to connect to the physical sensations, allowing yourself to arrive fully on the mat, and then coming into child's pose. So coming onto your knees, bringing the forehead to the mat, so placing the Ajna chakra, our center for inner wisdom and intuition and universal connection, placing this point onto the ground, feeling the breath enter and leave the body, feeling the stomach press against the thighs as you inhale, and feeling the spine sink down towards the thigh bones as you exhale. Starting to connect to the Ujjayi breath, a gentle restriction in the back of the throat. Inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils, and just noticing how this connection to our physical body, the sensations within the body, bring us into the present moment. Also acknowledging how we can transfer this state of being off the mat. So making our connections with ourselves and with everybody around us, our relationships, our emotional connections, more meaningful and authentic by being present. Imagine that you can drink in stability and strength from the earth. And now just bringing into your mind's eye somebody that you would like to make a stronger connection with, and holding their image in your mind, just taking 3 deep conscious breaths. Then gently peeling your chest away from your thighs, rolling up to sit, and coming into a cross-legged position, resting the palms against the thighs, sitting tall, and as you exhale, lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. On the next exhalation, roll chin to chest, then left ear, left shoulder, and inhale to gaze up, right ear, right shoulder, gazing down, left ear, left shoulder, inhale to complete the circle. One more time, really establishing this deep connection between the breath and the movement. As you gaze up, pause, reverse the direction, left ear, left shoulder, chin to chest, right ear, right shoulder, inhale to gaze up and complete the circle. Listening to any sounds and sensations within the neck and the upper back. Always allowing the body to act as a guide for your practice. Then easing the knees towards one another and laying yourself down onto the mat, extending the arms out to the sides in a T shape. As you inhale, ease both knees over to the left, and as you exhale, move them to the right. Inhale to the left, And exhale right, just starting to warm into the middle and lower back. And then bringing them through centre. Bringing the hands to the backs of the thighs. If you have any neck or back issues, rolling to your right hand side. Otherwise, rocking and rolling 2 or 3 times along the length of the spine and crossing the legs in front of the body so you can roll forwards onto all fours. Stacking shoulders directly over wrists and hips over knees, flaring the fingers wide, imagining that there's a pencil coming down from your belly button to meet the mat and drawing small clockwise circles with this pencil. Keep lifting the navel up towards the spine, start to make the circles slightly larger, warming into the wrists and the hips, and make the circles as large as possible, bringing the shoulders forwards over the fingertips and inviting the hips back to the heels. At the front of the circle, pausing and changing direction, keeping the circles large. Making the circle slightly smaller and smaller again until you find stillness. Now untucking the toes and lowering the body down onto the mat. Placing the hands directly underneath the shoulders, pressing the tops of the feet and the pubic bone firmly into the mat. On the next inhalation, lift the chest away from the ground, coming into baby cobra, but only so far as you can float your hands away from the ground. So squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another and move the shoulders back and down away from the ears. Exhale to release down, rest the Ajna chakra, third eye to the mat. Breathe in deeply through your centre of intuition and universal connection. And exhale. On the next inhale, coming up, but this time placing your elbows directly under your shoulders, forearms and palms of the hands to the mat. Opening the heart space, sinking the shoulders back and down in Sphinx pose. Feeling the connection to the earth against the tops of the thighs and the belly and the tops of the feet. Exhale to release down, resting the forehead to the ground for 1 round of breath. And then replacing the hands under the shoulders. As you inhale, coming into a slightly deeper cobra. So just listening to your own body. Big toes touch and heels roll out to the side, creating space around the sacroiliac joint. Softening the shoulders. Exhale to release down, hands beside the rib cage, inhale through tabletop, then tucking all 10 toes, exhale downward facing dog. Remembering it's always an option to lift the heels and bend the knees if you find any discomfort in the lower back or the hamstrings. Pressing into the root of the index finger, rolling the inner elbows up towards the sky to broaden the shoulders. Imagining that you could inhale through the palms of your hands, drawing the energy up the arms, through the shoulders, along the spine and up to the hips, creating a lift in the hips. Exhale that energy down the backs of the legs, down the backs of the heels and out through the soles of the feet. Imagining that you're creating a circuit, drinking in strength and stability from the ground beneath you. Having a deep connection to your immediate environment motivates you to respect and care for it more. On the next inhalation, lift the heels, look towards the thumbs, and exhale to walk the feet forwards. Holding opposite elbows, soften the knees if necessary, and fold forwards into waterfall pose. Inviting spaciousness and length into the spine. And then releasing opposite elbows, placing tented fingertips on the ground and starting to straighten the legs a little. Now placing one hand at a time underneath the feet, so there's a connection between the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Again, bending the knees if it makes it more available to you. On each inhalation, aiming to straighten the legs, so starting to press them a little straighter. Reaching forwards with the crown of the head. Exhale to soften. We're going to flip each hand over now, so sliding the hands under the feet but with the palms of the hands connected to the mat. and the toes and the feet resting on the backs of the hands. So you can give your wrists a little massage with the toes as once again you aim to straighten the legs. Exhale to soften the knees, release the hands from under the feet. Inhale, press into the feet and come up to stand, palms meet overhead. Exhale, hands in prayer in front of the heart. If you're not already there, stepping to the front of your mat, finding Tadasana. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Bring a micro bend into the knees just to soften the joints. Tuck the tailbone under, draw it down towards the earth, and really sense the connection between the soles of the feet and the ground. Taking a moment to connect to any thoughts or feelings that might arise, meeting them with compassion and full acceptance. Taking 3 conscious breaths, reconnecting with the Ujjayi breath. And on the next inhalation, reach sideways and up, palms meet. Exhale to fold forwards over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms and step back to high plank. Press back through the heels, reach forwards through the crown and press the ground away from you. Exhale, lower the knees down. Continue to exhale, lower the belly and the chest. Elbows hug the ribs. Hands move under the shoulders. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to release down. Hands move beside the rib cage. Inhale, tabletop. Tucking all 10 toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here for 1 or 2 deep cycles of breath. Lifting the hips a little higher and a little further towards the back of your mat. On the next inhalation, lift the heels. As you exhale, walk or gently hop the feet forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold, head beneath the heart. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands in prayer in front of the heart. Pausing for a few moments, just to reconnect with the body, reconnect with the breath. Anchor yourself into the present moment, connecting to your immediate environment, feeling the skin, the air against your skin, feeling the beating of your heart. Release the arms, palms face forwards. Inhale, reach sideways and up, squeeze the inner thighs together. Exhale to fold forwards over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the palms, stepping back to high plank. Lift the navel up towards the spine. Exhale to lower the knees. Continue to exhale, lower the belly and the chest. Elbows hug the ribs. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale, cobra. Soft in the shoulders, smiling the collarbones open. Exhale to release down, hands beside the rib cage. Inhale, tabletop, tucking all 10 toes. Exhale to find downward facing dog. From here, step the feet together so the inner ankles touch. And as you inhale, float the right leg up to the sky. Option to bend that lifted leg, opening out to the long edge of your mat. Inhale, re-extend the lifted leg. And exhale to step it forwards between the hands. Spin the back heel down, checking for a heel to instep alignment, front and back, preparation for warrior 2. Inhale to windmill the arms open, and exhale to sink a little deeper. Just glance down to check that you can see the instep of your right foot. If you can't, you can manually track that front knee more towards the little toe side of the foot. Soften into the pose, feel connected to the ground beneath you. And then releasing the arms down, interlace the fingers behind the back. Imagine that you're set in concrete from the waist down, so no movement in the hips or the legs, just a gentle twist from the torso to face the front of your mat. Inhale to reach the knuckles to the ground and lift the heart skyward. Exhale, starting to fold forwards, inviting your right shoulder towards your right knee, aiming to create a vertical column with your arms reaching the knuckles up towards the sky. On the inhalation, floating the chest up and releasing the interlaced fingers. Keep the left arm where it is. Inhale to float the right arm up. Straightening the front leg, then bending at both elbows, seeing if you can make a connection between the fingers. If you can't, just take hold of whatever clothing you're wearing to make that connection. Now peel the right toes away from the mat, coming onto the heel, and pivot on that heel to face the long edge of your mat. Letting go of the bind behind your back, lower the left fingers down, the right fingers up, and as you exhale, take a twist. So with your right hand, reach for your left foot, lifting the left arm up, and then change sides. Left hand to right foot, right hand up. One more time on each side. Inhale to switch, hold for the exhale. Inhale to switch, and hold for the exhale. Then bring in the hands into centre, underneath the chest. Imagine that somebody is taking hold of your hips and gently pulling back from behind, and creep the hands as far forwards as you can, bringing as much length and space into the spine and the side body as possible. Walking the hands back onto your mat and bringing the hands onto the hips. Inhale to lift. Turn the right toes to point towards the front of the mat. Come onto the ball of the back foot and bend into the front knee. Inhale, arrow pose, a straight diagonal line from the back heel through to the fingertips. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, high plank. And exhale, flow through your vinyasa, either lowering the belly to the mat and moving through cobra, or chaturanga and up dog, and transitioning in your own way to downward facing dog. On the next inhalation, step the feet together first, inner ankles touch, and then float the left leg to the sky. Option to bend that lifted knee, imagining you can tap yourself on your right shoulder with your left toes. Inhale to extend. Exhale to step forwards, spin the back heel down. Inhale to windmill the arms open, and exhale to sink a little deeper. Pressing into the little toe side of the back foot and the ball of the front foot. Just flip the palms up to notice how this sinks the shoulders down away from the ears. Keep the shoulders where they are and return the palms to face down. Releasing the arms down, interlace the fingers behind the lower back. Set, keeping the legs where they are, twist from the torso. Inhale to lower the knuckles, lift the heart, and exhale to fold forwards, drawing the left shoulder towards the left knee. Reaching the knuckles skyward, keep breathing, listening carefully to your breath to guide your practice. Inhale to lift up, release the bind, keep the right arm where it is, float the left arm up. Then bending at both elbows, make that connection, either between the fingers or taking hold of your clothing. Straighten the front leg, lifting up onto the heel, and pivot to face the long edge of your mat. Releasing the bind now, reach both arms up as you inhale. Exhale to fold forwards, planting the hands down onto the mat. If you find it difficult to even reach the mat, then just pausing here. If you can fold forwards and make a connection between the crown of the head and the mat, a possibility to float the legs away, coming into tripod headstand. Lowering the feet down with control, hands to the hips, and inhale to lift. Turn the left toes to point to the front of the mat. Come onto the ball of the back foot and sink into the front knee, reaching forwards and up, arrow pose. Squeeze the inner thighs in towards the midline. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, plank pose, and flowing through vinyasa. Either exhale to lower the belly down and inhale cobra, or moving through up dog, either moving through tabletop or transitioning straight back to downward facing dog. Taking a few deep breaths, reminding yourself of your connection to the earth, reminding yourself of your connection to your breath and your body. Tools that are always available to you to ground you, make you feel safe and calm, to soothe the nervous system. Return to the breath. Now walking the hands back towards the feet so you arrive at the back of your mat. Inhale to rise. Hands in prayer. Exhale them in front of the heart. Bring the weight into the right foot and bring the arms up into cactus arms. Now crossing the left leg in front of the right. Option to keep the toes down on the mat if you're feeling a little bit wobbly, otherwise hooking the toes around the back of the right calf. Then bring right arm on top of left, entwining the arms, coming into Garudasana, sink a little deeper, reach the fingertips a little higher. Tapping into this Garuda energy to devour any doubt, any negativity you might have in your mind. Unravel the arms, lift the left knee in front of you, then reaching the arms up, interlace the fingers and extend the index finger and start to seesaw the body. So we're reaching back with the left leg, lowering the chest down until the spine is parallel to the ground, arms reach forwards into Warrior 3. Exhale to lower the fingertips to the mat and going into 4 standing splits. Keeping the left leg lifted and pointed, start to walk the hands forwards, coming onto the ball of the right foot, coming into one-legged plank and flowing through vinyasa. So either lowering down, then cobra or up dog. Exhale, moving yourself into downward facing dog. Reconnect with the breath. Take a deep inhalation through the nostrils and exhale through the mouth. This time, as you inhale, float the left leg to the sky, keeping the leg straight and the hips square. Exhale, step the left foot forwards. Bring the fingertips to the top edge of your mat and start to drag the right toe along the ground until it floats away from the ground. Then bringing cactus arms up and your right knee in front of you. Cross the right knee over the left this time. Option to anchor the right toes to the ground, or hooking them behind the left calf, and this time left arm on top of right. Inhale to lift the fingertips a little higher, exhale to sink a little deeper and move the forearms and the elbows away from the face. Imagine you're sending roots down into the earth through the sole of the foot. Inhale to unwind, reach the arms up overhead and start to seesaw the body. So pressing that right heel back, lowering the chest forwards, finding Virabhadrasana 3. And then lowering the fingertips to the mat, floating the right foot up, standing splits. Exhale to lower the right leg to meet the left. Heel toeing the feet now so that the toes just hang over the edge of the mat, and inhale to stand. As we squat down, we're going to bring the arms behind the backs of the thighs and reach them forward so we can sandwich our arms between the calf and the back of the thigh. And just doing some hand bursts here helps to build the strength in the wrists to protect our wrist joints. And then with as much control as you can, lowering the sit bones down onto the mat. Bring the tiptoes to the ground in front of you with the knees bent. Reach the arms forwards, flaring the fingers, and then float the feet away from the ground, either with the shins parallel to the ground, or if you feel to, extending into full boat pose. Bring the palms together. Inhale to open out, reaching back with the right arm. Exhale to close. You can do it in half boat pose as well. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. If this is too challenging, you can bring the tiptoes down to the ground. One more time on the left side. And then lowering down, rolling yourself down onto the mat. Bringing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze, rocking from side to side, massaging the lower back. And then releasing the heels to the corners of the mat. Placing the arms down intentionally beside you with palms facing up in a gesture of complete surrender. Letting go finally of the Ujjayi breath, returning to soft natural breath. And just giving yourself this time and this space, this precious time in Shavasana, to allow the body to fully integrate the practice, to absorb all the benefits and the goodness of the practice, to allow yourself to connect to the earth beneath you, to your breath, to the physical sensations. These times that we're living in, with all the impacts of COVID, a lot of people are feeling distance. We're not allowed to hug, we're not allowed to touch as much. Many of us are separated from our loved ones. So just remembering that what we do have time and space and the capacity to do is to connect with ourselves. Sink inwards, connect with your own inner peace. Remembering that in essence we are all love and connection. So nothing, no external circumstances can stop us from feeling this connection and this love. Once we connect with that on an inner level, we can radiate it out to all others, even without physical connection. Now squeezing one knee at a time in towards the chest. Again, rocking from side to side, one last little squeeze. Rolling to the right hand side, remaining in the fetal position for 1 or 2 breaths. Remembering that you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. Extend the left leg, pressing yourself up to a seated position. Joining the palms together in front of the heart. Thank you for joining me for today's practice. Sending love and connection to everybody out there. Namaste.